Yeah, it's not a bad thing. We're good. I just remembered to press the record button, so that's nice. Now we didn't get my little shirt in, but it's all right. Okay, so I want to talk to you about a couple things before we do our Nana's chocolate milk activity. Okay. And the reason I want to talk to you about it is I've gotten some people's presentations and like for me to review, not for me to grade yet, but for me to review them. And I've noticed that some people are leaving some things out. So I want to make sure that you don't leave things out. And the easiest way to do that is to check the rubric. Okay. So make sure that you check the rubric if you, so you make sure you get the grade you want. All right. So I am going to put in the chat the presentation, the final project doc. And then I'm going to share my screen if I'm even in the meeting yet. I'm not even in my meeting yet, so that's okay on my iPad. I'll just share it on here. Okay, my gosh. And I feel your pain if you're having tech issues. I've been having tech issues today as well. Okay, so this is the final exam project. One thing I've noticed that people are leaving off their presentations is they are not telling me which one of these competencies they chose. So for example, I had a student who's doing social work and is going to do some data displays and some graphs. So they chose this course competency right here: organize, analyze, and display data using multiple representations. So that should be in their presentation on one of the very first slides. You can even put it on your title slide, right? So Roxanne Klassen, maybe my title is statistics in teaching. And then I have my program of study is education. And then I have my competency is organize, analyze, and display data using multiple representations. So I'm looking for that. So make sure you have that course competency in your presentation. It doesn't have to be on the very first slide, but it can be. Okay. So some of you might be addressing more than one. For example, I was looking at Ruki's, which was outstanding, by the way, and Ruki has some graphs on there, so she might include that one. But she also has calculate and interpret measures of central tendency, because she talks about the mean and the median, because you talk about the average and you talk about the median. So you could have that on there. And then you also talk about this one: calculate and interpret measures of location, percentiles and quartiles, because you talk about percentiles in there, right, in your presentation. So you might have all three of those, but you might really be, so you could list them all, but then you might be focusing on one of those. So, and Ruki, that might be why yours is a bit long, because you have so much information in yours. It's awesome. Yeah. So you can keep all your information in your presentation, but when you talk, you might want to just skip some of it, So, and just say, be a little briefer on it. So, okay. Yeah. So good job. Ruki's got so much info in there. Okay. So you only have to have one, but if you have more than one, you could put it on there. So remember that in your presentation, the first thing you're being graded on is, do you have everything in there? So do you have a title slide with your name, the competency, what your program of study is? And then this is the part that some people are leaving out. They have a lot of information about their program of study and about some math, but they never gave a problem that they solved. Okay, so for example, remember the one I gave you where it was a dental hygiene one? And the dental hygiene one I showed you, the person was calculating the lidocaine that a patient of a certain weight needed. Remember that one? So that was their unique application. So if your unique application is graphs, that's fine. But are you reading graphs or are you displaying the graph? So if you're making a graph, then show us the data and then say, okay, how would we make a graph of this? And then make the graph of that. If we're interpreting a graph, so show us the graph and then ask some questions about the graph. Like, if my graph is what's the median price of this, and they get the information from the graph. And you can make it interactive if you want. You can make everybody in the class do a 3, 2, 1. No, that's fine. I don't care, right? So, but there should definitely be some mathematics involved, right? That I can see. Okay. You're going to get 5 points to make sure that you're presenting and you're, you have good audio and it's understandable and clear. You're going to get 5 points for answering questions accurately. You're going to get 30 points for your mathematics. So make sure your mathematics is correct. That's half of the project, right? So if you have vocabulary words, make sure if you've defined them that it's an accurate definition, okay? Make sure you have units and labels on everything. So if there's a dollar sign, it's in the right place. If there's a decimal point, it's in the right place, a percent, whatever it is. And then 5 points for your audience, okay? So check your presentation with all of that. The other thing is I'm going to go over to the, I think here's the sample project, okay? So yours doesn't have to look anything like mine. You know, you can change the theme, you can change whatever, but you can put your competency right here. You know, you can put competency and your program of study. You can put that right there if you want, if you need more slide room, you know, for other things. Okay. Oh, that's not spelled right. Okay. I have it right here. Consider an introduction. Explain the course competency you chose from the list and how it relates to your program of study. So I have someone doing social work and homelessness. So they could say, why is it important for statistics, or how does statistics affect social work, right? Well, number one, funding, right? We present statistics so we can get funded to solve a problem like homelessness, or to address a problem like homelessness, stuff like that. So, and then teach your competency or your concept. So if you're teaching us about reading statistics, you might have some vocabulary here. You might have some graph information here, whatever. Then you're going to introduce your problem. That could be a question, whatever it is, okay? And then you're going to solve that, okay? So that's where I need to see all that mathematics. That's the most important thing, okay? So I just noticed that some people, and then at the end, you should have some kind of reflection. What did you learn? And then your final thoughts, open to question. You can have citations, images, whatever. Okay. Okay.
Hey, I have a question. Does it have to be strictly one problem, or can it be like one problem and then it's like, oh, what is the probability of this happening? What is the amounts they win? What is blah, 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 and then it all built into one. Okay, sick.
Yeah, it can totally be like that. Just like when we do questions in class, sometimes there's part A, part B, part
Exactly,
C, part
yeah.
D. Yeah, that's an awesome idea.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of times it is more than one thing, right? Because one just leads into the next. Now, the other thing is, if you're looking for some references or some resources for like vocabulary or some sample problems that you could modify, right? Because you can't use my sample problems, but you can modify them. If you go to our class, like if you go to our homepage, we have our virtual classroom right here, right? And on our virtual classroom, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, if you click these, there's our readings. So let's say, remember we were talking about Ruki's doing statistics. So let's say Ruki wanted to, oh, stop sharing. Sorry about that. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, let me go back then. So you're here in our virtual classroom. There's me and Nana's chocolate milk. Do you like it? Yeah, I do too. You're welcome. If you click on any of these personal finance readings or probability readings or statistics readings, it brings up all of those readings in one PDF document. So if you wanted to search for something, like let's say we wanted something about medians, because Rookie has something about medians in there. It'll find, I just did Control F so I could find it. And here it is. Oh, mean, median, and mode. And then here's the definitions, and here's some examples. So you can use this as a reference. If you quote any of the definitions, you should cite this textbook. Okay. Okay. Matt, question.
If we're like making like a works cited page for information we found, do you want it in like EasyBib, or do you want it just like the website link? Like, do you not need us to put it in like EasyBib or something like
I
that?
always think a citation is nice. So EasyBib is nice, just because it does most of it for you. If you're just going to give me the URL, at least tell me what it's for.
Right.
Like if you're citing an image, you can just put that link on that image. You know how they do that now? You can put it right under your image. So you don't have to have a separate citation for it. That's really common now, is if you have an image, just the link is right there. So then you know it's a copyrighted image and where it came from.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Other questions? Because I know that a lot of you want to do really, really well on this, right? Any other questions you have? And we should have some time for specific questions. Like I'll put you in breakout rooms and you can call me in and ask me a more specific question too, if you want.
If I'm using a template out of PowerPoint, do I need to cite that?
No, you're fine.
All right.
Because I'll know it's in PowerPoint because your document's in PowerPoint, so it's fine. Same with images in PowerPoint. You know, if it's a PowerPoint image, then you're fine. If it's an image that's outside of PowerPoint, you know how you can put images from like the web in there. And by the way, Google is not a citation. Everybody knows that, right? Google doesn't own those, right? Google just tells you where to go find them. So you cite the actual source, not Google. Okay, any other questions on that? This is my favorite part because I get to learn so much about what you're interested in, and you get to see how the math really applies to it, because it really does. Okay, so enough of that. I still didn't join the meeting in my iPad. What we're going to do today is we're going to do a thing called Nana's Chocolate Milk, and it's about proportional reasoning, which is dimensional analysis, which is something that you're not sure that you use, but you actually use it all the time. We used it when we did percentages, when we set up proportions. So we did it when we used percentages, but it's really a fun thing to do. I'm trying to find the video. Last time I shared the video, my students said they could hear the video, but I couldn't hear it when I played it for you guys. So I don't know, but I'm going to show you the video, then I'm going to show you the Desmos that you're going to do, okay? Because you can watch the video again. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. There's not a lot of sound, okay? But it's still fun to hear. Oh, maybe hold on one second. Let me click it again. Okay. All right, so watch this carefully. You might have to read the screen, okay? All right, so that's it. I know it was an amazing movie, wasn't it? Okay, so the sound is hilarious if you can hear it. There's very little, there's just like the spoon clanking on the glass. And then when he screws up Nana's chocolate milk, he goes, "Oh no, Nana's gonna kill me." So hilarious, right? I know, hilarious. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through this Desmos activity and you're gonna fix the Nana's chocolate milk. So let me get you the link. I don't know why it's being stupid right here. So log in with your actual name because that's how I'm giving you credit for this assignment. And when you give answers on the last slide, make sure you're very specific mathematically. So let me copy this. I'm putting it in the chat right now. It'll ask you, if you just click on it, it'll ask you to put your name in. Okay. I can see Lily and Matt are in, and Lee, and Annie, and Zevi. It's up to you if you want to sign in with Google or not. We're going to finish it right here, so it doesn't matter if you sign in with Google. Just if you're worried that you're going to get kicked out, if you signed in with Google, it'll save your progress. I got Danessa, Ruki, Zach, Brady. Is that everyone? Tashina. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. I'm missing one. You did. Are you able to log in?
I'm just confused. This is the link. This is on my phone today, so okay. Never mind, it worked. I thought it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it should work on your phone. It shouldn't have a problem.
Okay, there I go.
Okay, perfect. So right now I have you on the screen where it says watch the video. So watch it again, pay attention. Then I will release it so you can move at your own pace through there. Now, when you get to the screen that there's a glass of milk on, it's going to tell you how to work it. And then it's going to tell you there's a button that says stir. It's super fun. You get to stir the glass of milk. I don't know if it's going to make you want milk after this, but I don't even like milk. But I do like chocolate, so I'll have that. Okay, so watch the video. Then after you watch the video, it'll let you proceed to the next slides. And I want you to think it through, especially on slide 7 where you have to put in your answers. Okay? Any questions for me? I'm just going to leave you all in this room. If you have questions for me, you can still type to me in the chat, even when you're on Desmos. Okay, if you have any questions.
Wait, do you want us to hit that share with class button thing? Like when we put our answers in?
Yeah, when you're done. Yep, after you answer. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so now you should be able to go to the next slide whenever you're ready. But make sure you watch the video. I can see if you watched it. There's a little dot that appears. And you can go back to the slide before. All right, I can see a lot of you are getting close to the end or you're at the end. I want you to read through your explanation and make sure you're very specific. You're answering the question. The question says, in how many different ways can we solve Dan's problem? Right? So make sure you explain how many different ways could we solve this? Okay, if you finish that, I'm gonna put a worksheet in the chat for you to think about these proportional reasoning ideas. There's just 5 questions on it, and then we're gonna talk about this all together. If you finish with that, you can work on your final presentation. So hold on one second. So there's the doc with 5 problems on it that you can work on. I'm reading through your explanations now. And you can read through other people's explanations too, I think, at the end. You can see which one sounds the best. You can probably see my other class too.
I don't know how to look at everyone else's answers. It just says like 3.
Can you see everybody else's answers? Can anyone else see the answers?
Unless no one else has submitted the last one yet. But
No, you guys did for sure.
yeah, just 3 are available for me
Yeah,
at
I
least.
Scroll down. I see Tina's, I think, Ashley, and then don't remember the last.
You can see Ashley's. If you scroll way down, can you see that?
I can't scroll any farther.
Weird.
Yeah.
How about anybody else? Can anybody else? Matt, whose can you see? Ashley?
I'm pretty sure the same. Well, I can see Ashley, Kern, Sheena, and Justina. I think that's how you say that.
Interesting. I wonder if it only gives you a couple. Can you see any, Brady?
Yeah, I just see Ashley Kern, Amanda Hutchins, and Tashina.
Nice. I don't know why you can't see everyone. Weird. Okay. So was everybody able to get 2 solutions? Did you figure that out? Nice. So it's interesting. By the way, did anyone think it was fun to stir the glass? I did. That was my favorite part. Yeah. I don't know who the programmers are that wrote that, but I think that's very fun. that they did it. So I'll show you what it looks like on my end so you can see it. This is, Desmos is one of my favorite activities. One of my other classes has 3 Desmos activities to do this week because they're online only. So they just do them and then I go through them and look. So I changed all your names. This is both my classes together, but I changed your names. It automatically changes them to like famous mathematicians or scientists. But I can go to this screen and I can see all of yours. So if we look down, I know your class is down here. A lot of people are saying things like, you could add 0.25 or 1/4 cup of milk and 0 cups of chocolate, or you could add 1 cup of milk and 3 scoops of chocolate, or you could add 2 cups of milk and 7 scoops of chocolate. I feel like the possibilities would be endless as long as both parts are proportional. Yeah. So, and I like how some people are like, well, how much milk do they have? Right? Like, I don't know. How much can fit in the glass? Yeah. So I feel like there's not a specific limit to how the amount of ways to solve this problem unless you run out of cup space. To prevent the over milkiness or chocolatiness, you just add more. The line bar shows that each interval has a nice little equivalent to it. The 5 scoops is equal to 1/4 cup and so on. So this idea of how, by the way, have you ever screwed up a recipe like this? I have. Like put in an extra egg. Be careful if you put in an extra egg, right? Because that's going to screw things up a lot. So you have to be really careful. Yeah, do it all the time, mess up recipes all the time. Or do you, when you're making a recipe, you decide you want to double the recipe, right? Because you have a lot of people coming over, or the recipe calls for, it's for 4 people and you really don't want to have leftovers because you're not a leftover person. So you cut it in half. So you only have enough for 2 people. Has anyone ever done this with their recipes? Yeah? No? No, or you're like, who's baking? We don't bake, right? All right, so I do this all the time, and I think proportional reasoning is an amazing thing to do. And we do it unknowingly often. So the idea behind this was to realize exactly what one of you said. I don't know who it was, that, and a lot of you said it in different ways, that relationship is really important. That ratio or that proportion between the amount of chocolate and the amount of milk needs to be accurate, right? In order for the recipe to stay the same. If it's not, then Nana will be mad at you because there's too much chocolate in it, right? Or, by the way, I would never complain about how much chocolate there is in something. I could just eat the scoop of chocolate. I'm just saying. So, but this gives you a good idea. I want you to do right now, get the first problem on the worksheet ready in the chat, the answer ready in the chat. It's the one where it was, if John can drive 330 miles in 6 hours, how much will he be able to drive in 18 hours? And I'm putting that in the chat right now. So get that answer ready. But more important than that, I want you to think about how you're doing that problem. Okay, keep track of how you did that problem because I'm going to ask you. Okay, so do this problem and let me know. By the way, if you wanted to play with Nana's chocolate milk more later, you totally can. I'm not grading it. You know, you have until midnight. So if you want to change your answer or look at other solutions you could have, I really like the double number line on there. So, but get this answer ready in the chat. I'm going to give you a whole minute because I want you to really be prepared with your explanation. All right, does everyone have an answer? Okay, let's get it ready in the chat. Get your answer ready in the chat. So if John can drive 330 miles in 6 hours, how far will he be able to drive in 18 hours? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so let's talk about how you did this problem. Okay, so anyone who wants me to not call on them in a minute, because I'm going to call on everyone, can you tell me how you did this problem? Tashina, I'm ready.
All right, so it says that he drove, sorry about the baby. He was able to drive 330 miles in 6 hours, and he's going to end up driving 18 hours. So you just take however many times 6 goes into 18, which is 3. So you take 330, multiply it by 3, and that gives you the total miles that he would be able to travel in those 18 hours if he maintained that speed. It doesn't specify speed, so we don't worry about it.
All right, so does everybody understand how Tashina did it? Tashina said, oh, I'm looking at the relationship of 6 and 18. Since 18 is 3 times 6, I'm going to multiply the 330 miles by 3 and get 990 miles. Did anyone else do it Tashina's way? Lily did, Ruki did, Zevi did. Okay. Did anyone do it differently? Did anyone do it a different way?
I did.
Matt, what did you do?
I looked up on my phone what did I do? How far or how long? I just did it. Well, I found a distance calculator, and I found out that if you moved at 50 miles an hour, you get a distance of 990 miles. So, yeah.
So basically, you found a speed here.
Yeah.
So you did 330 miles divided by 6 hours, and it would it be 50?
That's what it said.
What's
I think-
330 divided by 6?
Okay.
That would be 55 miles per hour.
There you go. So it's 55 miles per hour. So once you know a per hour rate, then you can go, oh, I'm going to multiply that 55 times 18, and I'm still going to get the 990 miles that they drove. Anyone else do it differently? Or the same as Matt did? Did anybody do it like Matt?
Couldn't you have just multiplied 330 by 3? Because 6 times 3 is 18.
Yeah, that's what Tashina said she did.
Oh, wow. I was not paying attention. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what Tashina and I think Lily, Zevi, Ruki, I think that's what they all did. Anyone else find this per hour rate? Anyone do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a common way to do it too. Did anyone do it differently? Anyone do it differently? Do you remember learning this in elementary school where you said, okay, 330 miles in 6 hours is how many miles in 18 hours? Do you remember doing that? And we kind of did that when we did percents. Remember when we learned percents and we could set them up like this if we wanted to? So yeah, and what's nice about this way is you can see this, what Brady was talking about, and Tashina and Lily and Ruki and Zevi were all talking about. You can see that times 3, and you can just go times 3. Or you can see this relationship that Matt was talking about. 330 divided by 6 is that 55. So then I could just multiply that by 55. Yeah, so you can do any of those things. Now, if your numbers are real ugly and you can still set up a proportion like this, did anyone remember learning you can do this? You could multiply 330 times 18 and then divide it by 6. You can try it and you'll still get 990 miles. Okay, it doesn't matter. So there's lots of different reasonings to do the same type of problem. Okay, so I want you to try numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, and then I'm going to come and talk to you. And this is a great time to ask me questions about your final project. Okay, so if you have any questions about your final project, now is going to be a great time to ask. Okay, when you're in these breakout rooms. Sorry, I'm just rearranging things. Okay, I'm going to open those breakout rooms, do those other 4 problems, and then talk about your final project. If you have a question for me, call me in. Hello, hello. Everybody's back in about 30 seconds, and I'll put up the exit ticket for you. It's a proportional reasoning problem, just like those 5 that you just did. And then I just want to talk to you about your final project for just another minute, and then you'll be all ready to go. Okay. Hello, welcome back. Okay, did you get all 5 of those done? Okay, so the first one we did together, it was 990 miles. What did anyone get for number 2?
$30.80.
Nice. How many of you got $30.80? Excellent. Okay, number 3. What did you get for number 3? Anyone?
90.
90 points. How many of you got 90? Good job. Zevi got 90 also. Excellent. How about number 4? Number 4 was the cups of flour problem. How many tablespoons of shortening did you need? 9.
9.
Yeah. Oh, not cups. Lee, not cups of shortening. That would be awful. Yeah, just tablespoons. Maybe you're not a chef. 9 cups of shortening. I can't even envision that. Okay, the last one. What did you get for number 5? How many hours? 34 hours. They make very little per hour, right? I don't want to be the workman in that problem. I don't know when that was written, 1985, but I don't want to be that workman because you're only making like 5 something an hour. Yeah. Yeah, so that was bad. Okay, did anyone get them all correct? Who got them all correct? Nice. Okay, the last thing I want to talk to you about for just 1 minute is I know some of you are nervous for your final presentation. First of all, we know who's going tomorrow, yes? Tomorrow we have Judith to kick us off, then Lee, Zach, Ruki, Zevi, Lily. That's tomorrow's schedule. Don't be late. Make sure if you're presenting, you're on time, you're ready to share your screen, you're good to go. Your presentation should not go over 5 minutes, okay? It should not go over 5 minutes. 5 minutes is the max. You have a 10-minute window because we have to share our screen, we have to ask questions, all of that. So this is a 5-minute presentation. Brady, how long did you want to present?
5 minutes. I thought it had to be at least 5 minutes.
No, 5 minutes is a max, no min.
Oh,
Sorry.
lit.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Good to know. If you go over a few seconds, I'm not going to take points off your grade, right? We just have to get everybody in. So I don't want it to go 10. Last year I had somebody talk for 10 minutes. And I was like, no, gotta stop. Okay. And then Monday schedule, Josh V, Brady, Tashina, Annie, Danessa, and Matt. So don't be late that day either. I know some of you want, I wouldn't say you could do it in under 3 minutes. Well, so I would say between 3 and 5 minutes. Good question, Matt. Okay, I mean, unless you talk like crazy fast. I'm pretty sure under 3 minutes would be not very reasonable. So 3 to 5. Okay. Some of you want someone else to look at your project, right? Because you're besides me, right? I can look at it, but you might want to look at each other's. Feel free to type in the chat. Anyone want to look at mine, or use the people feature in Canvas and reach out. Everybody in the class wants to do well on this, right? So you're fine either way. So send it. Nobody's judging anyone. We're just trying to make sure you're gonna get a decent grade on it. Yeah, I'm happy to look at it too, but just so you know. Okay. All right, Nana's chocolate milk, I'm going to give you credit for as long as you answered question 7 and you went through the whole slide. And then your final project needs to be turned in tomorrow night, even if you're not presenting till Monday. Okay. Okay, you can still change it, right? Because I'm grading your presentation, but I want it turned in tomorrow. Okay, do your exit ticket. It's a proportional reasoning problem. Read it carefully. Every single person in my last class got it wrong. Every single person. So please read it carefully. It's not a hard problem, but you have to answer the question that's asked. Otherwise, great job today. Tomorrow, presentations.